funny ideas. I mean, I had the original Netflix idea way back in maybe 1988 of using copper, a regular telephone line, to transmit over a 28, I think it was a 13K modem back then. And it took all night to just download one movie. So you would do it at night, you would pay a fee, and in the morning you would download your movie onto your hard drive and you would watch the movie. It's almost incomprehensible today, right, that idea could work out with Netflix and things like that. How many of you use Netflix on a regular basis here? About half the class, okay. How many of you still watch television at regular hours? Wow, a lot more than I would think. What are you watching? What's great that you're watching these days on TV? CNBC?
And Bloomberg.
How about you, Joe? What's your favorite show?
Nothing, even with 1,000 channels, there's still nothing to watch, just reruns.
Very true. We talk about that all the time. With the thousands of channels, you know, there's still nothing that great to watch. Your TiVo, your DVR, your hope with Netflix, you know, but there's still opportunity in content and programming. You know, you watch people, you know, these influences. You know, I'm watching this happen. I mean, I don't know how many of you are familiar with what influences are. But, you know, I guess Kim Kardashian may have been one of the first influences, her and the whole family. And on Instagram, there are people that have millions of hits, and YouTube, all the makeup girls that have millions of followers. What that does, it makes big trouble for the content providers. Big trouble. The NBC and CBS, like, wow, now my competition is everybody? Like, everybody is my competition. There's every blog, there's every YouTube channel, there's FaceTime. I mean, things that didn't exist. I mean, the whole gaming business, that Nintendo and Xbox, I mean, and the Xbox Live. You know, people have so many more things to do today, not to mention Facebook alone, you know, ties up half the day. You know, so they're in big trouble, the content providers. They're a little bit lucky, Comcast, because they have an internet network and they have other ways to make money besides just the content end of it. So I had a family function down in Florida, so I was there for a few days, not less than 10. But had to come up because I had to teach this class, even though there was a snowstorm. You know, it says it's more important for me to find my class, find my partners. It's always going to be another sunny day in Miami, that's for sure. Whatever happened with the business plan competition that everyone was so hot on?
Oh, it's going.
It's going?
Yeah.
Did you go down?
What's up?
Did you go down to that Etsy thing, or?
No, nobody in our team was available
Okay.
at that time, but
Right.
we've met twice since then, and we're moving very fast, and very excited to.
Because isn't it coming up like next week? Or?
It's due on March 20th.
Oh, okay.
So there's two processes. There's the application,
Right.
then the presentation, and then the plan. So we're finalizing our application and presentation first, and then we're
Okay.
going to translate all that data information into the actual plan itself. But you know, we have a really good group of people that we're working
That's
together.
great. I'd love to see the presentation, you know, whether it be in person or Skype or something.
Absolutely,
I mean, I'd
yeah.
like to see, you know, what you're going to go in.
Yeah, and we're very thorough with everything. So we're actually creating mock-ups and kind of going through the process to make it more legit because we want
Okay,
to
it's a
win.
very important thing, as you saw from last week's presentation. Having that a business plan competition, you know, besides the money, which is great, there's a lot of money to be made in these business plan competitions, but just to force you to do the business plan and to think thoroughly what's going on, because you have to have an answer to everything.
Yep.
I mean, it's always exciting for me to give the homework assignment to see what you think your business is going to cost
Yeah.
to start, you know?
And then there's a lot of like, we're learning so much from just the data that we're getting. I mean,
Right.
Maria did a survey of students. We got 100 students to respond to get more information, get more data, and then everyone's doing research in their specific fields in each discipline of the app, and we're getting all that information so we can make the best possible presentation when it comes to coming in front of the investors. So,
Listen, I mean, the Shark Tank, I mean, you have a lot of things. You have this class, you have the Shark Tank, you have a lot of examples online to take a look what people are. But at the end of the day, think about what you would want to see if you were investing your own money. Because at the end of the day, I think you all want to be serial entrepreneurs. It's a fun thing to go from one thing and open another thing, because once your eyes are trained a certain way, you know, it doesn't matter what the business is. The businesses are really irrelevant, you know. Once you get the marketing down, and we're gonna get a nice, you're gonna watch a nice video on marketing, and that's very important. You can't let your marketing go down. You can't get too confident. And there's a few people that don't advertise, you know. And there's also very few products that 100% of the people need. Does anybody know one product that 100% of the population needs?
Clothes.
Huh?
Clothes.
Okay, I guess something, I mean, it's not, yeah.
Water.
Water is a good one.
haircuts.
I guess that depends who you
Yeah.
are.
Electricity.
Electricity
You-
is,
you
uh, there's a product to buy. It's a product to buy. Huh? Toothpaste, that's not a bad one.
Food.
Food is, obviously everybody needs food. There's an obvious one.
A phone.
No,
No,
you don't need a
not a
phone,
phone.
right?
Housing.
Right, you need definitely need that.
If people start charging for air.
Let me try to make it a little bit,
Charging for air.
If somebody charge for air, oh my gosh.
You get a food.
it's something that everybody has
I
to
know
buy
pressurized air.
at least once a month. And it's something probably everybody uses every day.
Pay for
Clothes.
Insurance.
Pay for once a month and use every day.
Well, it's something you'd buy, maybe, you could buy it every day, I don't know people that do, but, you know, usually people buy this once a month, and they'll use it every day.
Light bulbs.
What?
That's not a bad guess, but,
Light bulb.
True.
that would be an obvious one, that's a good one, I didn't think
Gas.
about that one.
Gas.
Okay, that's another one. But it's a universal product. Yeah, I'll give you one last turn to do it, and then I'm gonna tell you.
Can you give us a hint? Insurance.
No, that would be giving it away, I don't like hints.
Insurance.
No?
Once. This is a funny riddle.
Your cell phone.
Once a month.
Not
Use
everybody
it
needs it.
every day.
Okay. Toilet paper. Okay? The only thing is universal that everybody needs to buy and everybody needs to have, I guess, you know. I guess that depends, right? What country where you are.
Freaking 24 pack of those every other week. Huh?
What product did you decide, which app did you end up deciding to enter into the business?
The app that I presented in class,
Okay.
Bookisto. We felt like it was a problem that's relevant to sort of all of us because we're all students. And so I felt like, or we felt like that it was something that we can all speak to with passion and something that we feel like it would be more motivating to do rather
Yeah.
than something else.
I really like the notes aspect too, you know? I think you brought that up and maybe you wanna put that in there. I mean, people who sell their notes to this class, you know, I'm not saying to buy the test and the whole caboodle, but, you know, certainly having a student who's done well in the class, and they can prove that, and maybe there's even a tutoring opportunity for that student, hey, you know, you need some help, and this is what I charge per hour for something like that. I mean, you could probably expand that out in a really big way. So, all right, good stuff. All right, so today we're going to learn a little bit about marketing. And what I'm going to try to do this time that I haven't done before is kind of stop when I see things that are really a must and that I do every day in my businesses in the way of marketing. And so you should take some notes on this, because to me, marketing is the most important thing in business. Okay? Continuous, when you watch all these Broadway shows advertised nonstop every day, there's a reason for that. Okay? So let's take a peek at this. Let's take a second and talk about your business plan as far as it goes to marketing. What channels are you thinking about utilizing?
Yeah, so I'm handling like the marketing user acquisition aspect, and my idea was to obviously use social media as one of our big ones. Definitely create a blog with content related to students and related to what we're trying to do. So content marketing, social media marketing, and then we were also looking to do a lot of traditional marketing as well. So reaching out to campus newspapers.
Right, I would think getting brand ambassadors, students on each of the campuses is the way to make this thing fly. Okay, most of the big brands have these. Everybody know what a brand ambassador is? Okay, so Red Bull would hire, you know, the popular fraternity and maybe the head of that fraternity to be their brand ambassador to bring that a product into the frat house and bring it out at the campus, out to parties, events, and really blast it out here, you know. And they get paid some minimal amount of money, and they also get free books and other things that you do. So look at brand ambassadors, because as you do the business plan, you want to look a little sharper than the next guy. Okay, so that kind of thing. Trade shows. All right, there's national trade shows with authors and textbook manufacturers. You look real slick when you put that in. That Bookista is going to be a sponsoring advertiser, you know, at the National Textbook Association's annual conference. Okay, then there's all kinds of different events like that you will go to. Obviously the Facebook, the Twitter feeds, the multiplying effect of having that come true. And then of course coupon sites, maybe Groupon.
Yeah. Well, we were also gonna, you know, like for example, hercampus.com. You know, there's a lot of students that are on blogs and stuff like that.
Yes.
So we wanted to work with the same way they did. We want to work with their blogs and have them do features and things like that for us, and maybe even create content for these blogs, and hopefully find a way that they can push our app through their blogs and channels and stuff like that too. So that was one of my strategies for that.
Good. And I think that they're all very sound strategies. Okay, let's finish this chapter. Okay, that was the chapter on marketing. How many of you enjoyed the lecture last week by Mike Geller? Okay, so as you may know, Matthew Zallen, Matt, you want to just stand up a second? Actually sent Mike a letter. He was so taken and impressed by him that Mike is offered him an internship. Why don't you tell him what happened? How did that all go down?
Yeah, so basically, it's an industry that I was looking to get into also, as I said last week too. That's why he sent me back to the drawing board, coming up with my idea. So I was asking him advice, and basically I said, you know, maybe I could work with him and see firsthand what he does and how he does it, because I feel like he'd be a great boss too, because everything that he was saying made sense to me. So he invited me up to his warehouse, and we spoke for about 2 hours, and he offered me an internship and also a part-time job there, working in the summers.
Yeah, so right on that. Good job. Take advantage of this, you know? See who you meet, see what's going on, and you know, that's not going to turn everybody on. Not everyone's going to want to learn how to do this, but Mike has really got a mission, goal, and as you saw, he was very honest, brutally honest with everybody how tough this was, and just took off for Africa. Not everybody could just take off to Africa and shoot bows and arrows and figure out what you want to do, but that's what he was able to do till he found his passion. He didn't settle. He didn't settle to do something and be aggravated, miserable his whole life. He really dug deep. And then he said, boy, I like the nature, I like the soil, I like to get dirty, I like flannel shirts. This is what I like. you know, and you know, then one thing leads to another. Having a successful home delivery business now leads to a 6,000 square foot restaurant and bar and lounge, and I'm sure that that's going to happen. And he's going to probably be a pioneer, you know, in that industry, and maybe it'll work out so great that Matthew will love that, and you'll be his right hand man and open these things all over the place. Okay, so today we have two student speakers, and I'd like to call upon Viola Lee to come up here.
Okay, so as you guys may all know by now, I want to open my own animal shelter, and I want to be able to help dogs find the perfect owner, or even just to provide a roof under their heads. So my animal shelter is going to be called OPUP. And I want to create this animal shelter where people can come and hang out with the dogs and also help them. People can help these animals by spreading awareness of adopting these animals, donating, volunteering, or hang out with the dogs so they can experience with with the humans. And so many people believe that no-kill animal shelters are the best option for animals, for these stray animals. However, they always keep these animals locked up, which is actually not really good for these animals. So there is about 10,000 rescue groups and animal shelters in North America. So how are we different? Our mission is to introduce a whole different experience for both animals and humans. And I believe that we shouldn't just provide them a physical home. We should also make them feel emotionally and mentally at home. So we will have vets, trainers, and volunteers that will help them with each of their issues and needs. And we promote people to bring their families and friends to come and hang out with our dogs. And we'll have a backyard for the dogs to exercise and run around in. And lastly, since we're a nonprofit, it's important for us to market our company and spread awareness for these homeless dogs. In order to do so, I believe we can make special events like movie nights and fashion shows and like a baking event. So yeah, that's it.
So we heard this the day one when we went around the room, that this was going to be your passion, and then we talked a little bit about things that I've seen about where you can rent out a puppy by the hour. So she was able to adopt a little of that into this presentation, and I believe that this thing could work. I think that it hasn't been done effectively yet, but as we said, a lot of people who would like to get cats, have cats, either have a partner who's allergic to cats, they're allergic themselves, and it's kind of like, it's like a rent-a-baby. You know, it's like, who needs kids? I could rent a baby for an hour or two, play around on the ground with them. This is the same exact thing. You don't have to have a dog or a cat or anything like that. You can come in, rent them, you have other people, shared kind of thing. This is the opposite from a social media contact. This is a real nice, intimate kind of thing that, you know, to my knowledge has not been done yet. There's Puppy Palace where you go there and you can play with the puppies in their little cages in a retail store. You know, then you have the North Shore Animal League where you can go down. But, you know, this is a very interesting concept that, you know, I think could get a lot of press, a lot of publicity, and I think it's a good idea. Okay. Before she sits down, do we have any other questions, comments about how she can make that better?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I really like that idea because actually a couple years ago my family was looking to adopt a dog, and when we go to Petco, they would display the best dogs, but there would only be like 10 or 11 of them, so we didn't really find the dog that we wanted. So instead we went to this local dog like pet adopting area, but it was kind of hard to choose because these dogs were abandoned or maybe they were rescued, but the places that they're being taken care in didn't even look like a good home, instead just a dog pound. So having an environment like she presented where it's a homely, to it's almost like a rehab center for dogs where they can almost feel like themselves again and more energetic instead of
living in a
alone.
little cage.
Yeah.
I think you get a lot of donations, and just because you have a nonprofit, by the way, doesn't mean you can't take a nice salary out of it. Okay, I mean, most nonprofits, whether it be in the hospital business, or any nonprofit, even Brooklyn College, the people who raise the money, the big bucks, they make themselves $500,000 a year in income. So it's not like you can't get people to pay money as a donation. They come in, they play with the dogs and the cats. Maybe they adopt them, maybe they don't. But as you heard, people would like to come in and then give them back at the end of the day. So good idea. Okay, next we're gonna hear from Joe Maxey.
My idea of the product is a app that helps you understand, sorry. My idea of a product is an app that helps the people who apply to it not have to remember for holidays or anniversaries. Before I start talking about my app, I want to talk about my main goals for my business, which I want to make a never-ending business, having an always expanding business that can easily change with the popular culture, solving a common problem in the world while still making an income and being my own boss. The problem I saw is the most common problem experienced by people and myself is when someone is very busy and their mind just forget about buying the gift for your loved one or for your loved one, such as wedding anniversary and birthday. This problem is so well known that even the media take cracks at it. Like some episodes of an old TV show, they show the character forgot their. So my right-hand man purpose is the main goals for the app to help people forget. Remember, by making is a subscription service in which we automatically send you gifts, leaving your mind at ease, so you don't have to rush to a gas station to buy your wife a flower.
Right. Cool.
So the app can also send you information about reservations. Say, hey, you want us to do a reservation for you? In which you can say yes or no. In which that can work for how we make revenue is a paid subscription service. We also sell products if you want to give your wife or lover anything extra, like a I Love You t-shirt, and advertisement, which restaurant will pay us to put them on to see which one you want to make a reservation based on what you like. And how this idea has fitted my goals. It's a never-ending business because holidays are not decreasing, they're actually expanding. The idea have so many possibles, such as branching this app worldwide, because all around the world they have holidays. So I want to like Chinese New Year, I could do each of the Chinese New Year, I could change the main animal to based on the animal of the calendar. And not only is setting people of mind at ease about rushing to get the gifts, it will help you remember, hey, it's your holiday. Unlike other apps who will just send you a reminder and not do anything for you, just send you a reminder. And the fourth point is just self-explanatory because I'm going to be my own boss.
Okay, so it's a very good idea. We talked about that early on where, there is such a need. I'm guilty as anybody. I was just away and for the first time I actually had to make a handmade anniversary card for my wife, who's sitting in the corner there looking at me. And she thought it was the most clever card ever. Little did she know, I just did not have the time to go out there and get that. But I made it up with a nice piece of jewelry that I got for her. So she wasn't so upset about that after all. But yeah, no, certainly having something like this that would do it all for me, and you have a great reputation at doing something that people really like, that it does work, that they're not going to be embarrassed, that it's not going to look like some $3 bodega bouquet of flowers that I bought me, so she'll hit you on the head with that if that comes back. Yeah, Eric.
I was gonna say, like, I really like it. I think for me, I have a really big family, so it's hard to always keep reminding everybody's birthday and remembering. So it's like an easy way for me to just, you know, even a simple card, you know, something, whatever it may be, but I think it's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like the idea a lot, and I definitely think you can like add so many, like if you know you put your anniversary date in, and then you can put interest, right? So you can say like, you know, we love to go to Broadway shows, we love to eat Mexican food, whatever, and then the app will, based on that, send you a suggestion and say, well, you know, your anniversary's in 2 weeks, and we know you love Broadway shows. What about this ticket, or what about reserving this dinner, or things like that. So I really think it's a fantastic idea.
Yes. For your question about that, that goes. I'm trying to think if that can team up with Google Calendars, in which you can just type up the stuff,
Yeah.
and based out the most interest search you do, they can help you based out of your search.
Yeah, that's really
That would be cool.
Yes.
So I was gonna say I really like the idea, and I think it's awesome because when there's like a service like this, it looks more elegant, right? The gift, like my girlfriend was talking to me about like roses, and like, cause I get her bouquets of roses sometimes, right, just out of the blue. But she showed me this thing where it's like a company that sends you a box of assorted roses, and just for a box of assorted roses, it's like $100, right? Like, so I don't know, just the idea looks elegant to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, first I like to say it's funny how all the guys are the ones that say we like the app because it'll save us. But I think it would definitely help, like if you can find a way to like get the other person's interest. Because I know I had an ex-girlfriend who hated roses, but she was a big fan of tulips, and I didn't know that the first time. And I kind of got in some hot water the first Valentine's Day. But if you could have that, and then you know, oh, we're gonna send you a thing of tulips to them, that would definitely help.
Like I said, that's always upgrading and learning from what you experience.
Yeah, beautiful job. Fantastic job. It's great how this class is so supportive of everybody's ideas. You know, everyone here has such a varied interest in what they like. I mean, from nonprofit puppy things. And again, over the 10 years, I've heard a few things, you know, there's a lot of overlap to a lot of the things that people say. But yet, as the years go by, there's so many new technologies and new modalities. When I started this, there was only MySpace, okay? And we don't even talk about that anymore. And that's a great example on how you can destroy your business, you know, by trying to pretend to be too many things. And that's what happened to Yahoo. They tried to be too many things to too many people, okay? What are you? Are you a search engine? Are you a content aggregator? I mean, Yahoo was a fabulous search engine when it first came out. I mean, it was just, you know, but then they started to get into so many different things that they didn't know what they wanted to be, you know, and that could definitely be a problem out there. Okay, one of the great companies that are out there, let me just get back to my site, is a company called Warby Parker. How many of you ever heard of that company? Okay, so what do they do?
They basically sell glasses online.
That's right. They sell glasses online, a product that is so ridiculously priced. They were able to take this idea from their dorm room, and I'm going to play this for you, because this is the type of thing that you want to be doing. Finding the niche idea and then running with it.
name's Dave Gilboa, co-founder and co-CEO of Warby Parker.
I'm Neil Blumenthal, co-founder and co-CEO of Warby Parker.
We started Warby Parker because we saw a huge opportunity to solve a real problem. We love glasses, and we've been wearing glasses for a long time, but couldn't understand why they were so expensive. And when we looked into it, saw this massive industry that really hadn't had any innovation. We also wanted to create an organization that did something good in the world. And so I think everything that we do really stems from those two goals: to disrupt this industry that we thought was broken, and then also prove that for-profit businesses can have a positive impact in the world.
And there was that fateful moment where you forgot a pair of glasses in an airplane.
I happened to be traveling. I left a pair of glasses on a plane, and they'd cost me $700, and I was about to be a full-time student in business school and went my whole first semester without owning a pair of glasses because I thought it was ridiculous how expensive they were. I just bought a new iPhone that cost me $200 and did all these things that people can imagine 5 years earlier. Meanwhile, the technology behind a pair of glasses was invented 800 years ago, and it just didn't make sense why they were so expensive.
We really came at this as consumers and people that would go and buy glasses. You realize that there are crazy markups in this industry, and it just doesn't make sense. And at that point, you start to figure out, okay, what do I need to do here? Well, we need to design the frames. We can do that ourselves. We need to figure out where to produce them. Well, we had some manufacturing relationships we could leverage. And then we also need a place to sell it. So we thought that the internet was this great medium where we could interact directly with customers. So we wanted to figure out a way to compact that value chain and transfer a bunch of money to customers.
To your eyeglasses, which is such a personalized thing, right? The optometrist, you look through the machine, you know, he tells you what your vision is, he walks you over to the showcase and picks out the glasses. I mean, this is a product that is so hand-holding, so personalized, that it's shocking that you can actually develop an online business around something like glasses. How many of you would have agreed with that years ago? Right? Okay, so the question is, how many of you would have thought that it would have been very difficult to sell something like glasses over the internet? Okay, a good chunk of you. Now you're gonna hear how they did it.
We kept hearing from people that, you know, if you could sell glasses online, someone would already be doing it.
We entered the Wharton Business Plan competition, and I think we made it to the semifinals, which was exciting, but alas, we didn't win.
You know, at first we took it very personally and emotionally, but then realized that our time was better spent actually creating the operations of the business than perfecting our PowerPoint pitch. And it also, I think, put a little chip on our shoulder and it was just some extra motivation.
Yeah.
We had seen firsthand as consumers that this industry was broken and came up with a better way to do it, and just fundamentally believed that we could create our own brand. People were more and more willing to buy products online, whether it's Blue Nile, getting people comfortable buying things as expensive as engagement rings, Zappos, convincing people that they can buy shoes online even if they need to try them on. We really thought it was a unique opportunity in time where consumers were ready to actually buy glasses online, and if we could create a great brand and a great experience, they'd actually be willing to do that.
Warby Parker just took off like a rocket ship. We hit our first year sales targets in 3 weeks, sold out of our top 15 styles in 4 weeks, had a wait list of 20,000 people. We were completely overwhelmed.
We were full-time students, and we didn't have any employees, we didn't have an office, we were working out of our apartments, and we'd worked so hard to get our website up that I think naively we thought once it was up we could relax a little bit, and all of a sudden just orders started pouring in.
It was just mayhem. We basically had to stop going to class so that way we could answer customer calls, respond to customer emails. We didn't even have sold out functionality on the website. So one of the first calls, Dave calls our developers like, we got to figure this out. We made a decision early on that we were going to be transparent with our customers and actually explain to them what's going on, that we were really sorry, but we've ran out of inventory. A core tenet of ours is just to always be truthful and honest. And if you do that, hopefully, customers will like it and sort of be grateful for that.
And it's very important that you remember this. If you lie to your customers, if they even smell untruthfulness, you're finished. You're over with. Okay? You heard it from the woman who said, hey, this happens. You fall behind in cash flow on your loans at the bank, right? And you can't make the payments, or you can't pay a vendor. It's much better to call them up and be honest, they will respect you and they'll probably even give you more credit. So this customer service problem that they just had and being honest and not trying to screw someone around, take that to the bank the rest of your life, okay? And when you're thinking that you're gonna cheat somebody or do something and that you're gonna get away with it, nobody gets away with it, okay? It always comes back to bite you. No matter what you think, it always does.
I think we learned two important lessons right around launch. One is that if you treat customers well, good things will happen. We personally reached out to every one of those customers and we gave away a lot of free glasses for people if we messed up their order or kept them waiting for a certain amount of time. If you're just honest and transparent with customers and show them that you care, that goes a really long way. And the second thing was just the power of serendipity and good luck. One of our first customers called in. We had taken about 3 weeks to get him his glasses, and at the time, our customer service line just went directly to all the 4Founder cell phones.
Whoever would answer first got the customer.
And our co-founder Jeff picked up the phone and he profusely apologized and said, "We're overwhelmed by demand. We'll give you a free pair of glasses. Go to our website, pick out another pair. We'll send that for free. I'll package it myself and send it out tomorrow." And he said, "Well, it sounds like you're having some logistics problems. Maybe I can help. I'm the CEO of a publicly traded logistics company." And the next week they were our logistics partner, and we still work with them today where they handle all our logistics.
Isn't that crazy that the customer just happened to be the CEO of a logistics company? Wow. Okay. This is going to be an interesting one right here.
My name's Dave Gilboa, co-founder and co-CEO of Warby Parker.
I'm Neil Blumenthal, co-founder and co-CEO of Warby Parker.
We started talking about this idea in the computer lab when we were at school with our other two co-founders, Jeff and Andy. And I think all four of us, we couldn't stop thinking about this idea. We each were emailing back and forth at 3, 4 in the morning. We're so excited by the potential to do something different and special.
The next day at school, that was like, hey, this was a really interesting discussion yesterday. I think this is a really powerful idea. Later that night, we all went to a bar, and around the table, we committed to each other that, hey, we're gonna bust our butts and work really hard. We didn't know if we were gonna be successful, but at least we sort of said we were gonna do it.
The more we learned, the more excited we got. And then the next step was, okay, this is a good idea. We're spending time on it. Are we willing to put our money where our mouth is?
We actually all put in the same amount of money and we're all equal partners. We thought it was going to be really difficult at the beginning to say, hey, you're worth X and you're worth Y. So we just figured, hey, if this thing works out, it's going to change all of our lives.
The next step was, let's set up a vesting schedule that gets us to graduation. And if for any reason one or more of us wants to do something else, they'll get credit for time served, but the people that continue building the business will be compensated proportionally for spending more time. Turns out all four of us were incredibly excited, and so none of us dropped out of the process, but we wanted to be thoughtful about setting up those mechanisms ahead of time.
We knew that it was risky sort of starting a business with friends, and there were people far smarter than us that had started businesses as friends and then quickly sort of become bitter enemies. So one of the things that we started doing was going back to the bar that we decided to launch the business out of, and on a monthly basis we would just sit around the table and talk. We'd put people in the hot seat. We'd have those honest conversations. If there were any issues, they would bubble up and we would discuss it and we would resolve it before it exploded.
We really made this firm commitment to each other that our friendship and treating each other fairly and well was more important than the success of the business. And that's been something that I think was absolutely fundamental to the success of the founding of the company, and something that we've really tried to infuse through an entire organization now that we have over 300 employees. We create a culture where feedback is the norm.
And I think that really set the tone for a healthy working dynamic and ultimately for a very collaborative company culture.
We've tried to stay pretty close to Penn's campus and the students there, and every time we're there, we'll go grab a drink at the bar Roosevelt. And actually, one of our first frames and one of our most popular selling styles is called the Roosevelt, because of that bar.
Nice story, isn't it? Nice story when you can have your fellow students, like in this class. Yeah.
So there's a podcast called How I Built This with
Right.
NPR, and so they interview founders of, popular huge companies, and they actually did one with Warby Parker, and so they gave like a good amount of detail, but that podcast is like 45 minutes long or so.
Sure, absolutely. You can see a lot of these things on the on the web. Again, I'm just giving you a little bit of taste. I wish this was a several-hour class. So that's why it's important for you to take this, write it down, and then on your own time, since this is an entrepreneur class, and it's all about you, and it's all about how you spend your time and being your own boss. And you know, as we saw, one of the young ladies said, the best thing about being your own boss could also be the worst thing about being your own boss. Not being able to punch the clock and knowing the time, what to do it. I noticed that myself. I work way more hours than I would ever do if I was my own, if I was working for somebody. So you'll know whether you're meant to be an entrepreneur right now. So almost halfway through the semester, how many of you still think you're going to be entrepreneurs out here? Really, we haven't scared anybody yet. Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, next week we have a film director who I worked with on a movie that we did together, and her name is Sue Kramer. So Sue and I did a movie called Gray Matters 6 years ago. I was the executive producer, and it was my second movie after I did The Illusionist. So did I ask that question? How many of you saw The Illusionist before? Yeah. Okay, just show of hands. How many of you did see The Illusionist? Okay. Great movie, done in 2006. I just found the movie business to be terribly difficult. She'll be here to tell her story, what it's like to be a female director in Hollywood after coming out of USC on what she did. But I'm just going to take a second because next week she has a whole thing planned for the class. I'm going to play you the trailer of the movie that Sue and I made.
How are you gonna meet anyone at a dog park? Get off.
Hello, the dog park is a vortex for singles.
Hello, when do we become dog owners?
They're very codependent.
We are not.
Come on.
You rarely spend a minute apart. We
all day at work, we never
when I'm
see
at
each
work.
other
I've even seen them share the same toothbrush.
Hideous.
One time. Okay, I'll look for a girl for you, and you look for a guy for me who is deep and sensitive and funny. Check, please. Yeah, I want you to check out center field.
Hi.
Oh, you're so cute. What's his name?
Fluffy.
Can I have Flicker back?
I should. Great. She's the sun, the star, she's the moon, she's the jackpot, she's it.
You don't even know her. She could be an axe murderer.
Oh, no. Because I asked her to marry me.
What?
No.
Yes. I can't think of a reason why you shouldn't marry her. I mean, she's smart, she's beautiful, she's funny.
Oh, please. She's a gold-digging wench trying to hook her little claws in before he makes the big bucks that she can later get her hands on in an ugly divorce settlement.
You're not still taping all my children every day, are you?
I TiVo it.
Yeah, I want.
Please tell me you don't wear stuff like that every day.
I spent more on lingerie than I have on rent. Yeah, I want.
I can't get too drunk, though. I am getting married in the morning.
Think I should.
Oh my God.
There's anybody who has any objection.
This February.
Do you remember that night in Las Vegas? Barely. You got me too drunk to remember anything.
I'm a walking Dear Abby Collins.
You know it.
Get ready for a comedy
I happen to think you're pretty dandy.
about opening your eyes,
What can this be? What I want was just
facing the truth,
Tell me what's going on.
This is good.
and what comes out
Take the R out of gray and bingo!
when you open up to life.
My best friend. Just because you're totally gay and in love with my wife doesn't mean we can't work things out. Mikey.
What can this be? What I want looks just like me.
Gray Matters.
You ever been attracted to me?
No.
Really?
Okay, there's my name. So that's the one thing you get when you produce these movies and you spend the bucks to do it. You get your name up on this film. Anyhow, so this was my second film, and it had a master cast. Bridget Moynihan. Bridget Moynihan was going out with Tom Brady, who I met on set that day when we were filming. Oops.
Okay. Hey, are you ready?
So yes, so Tom Brady was married to Bridget Moynihan at that time, and I got to throw around the football a little bit with Tom Brady. That movie was shot in Vancouver, although it looks exactly like New York. Vancouver and Toronto is used in the movie business because when you shoot up in Canada, the tax credits that the Canadian government help you pay for your movie, they believe that promoting Canada, promoting its actors, promoting its town, giving business to the local economy and hotels is also a very good way to get business. New York has also instituted a tax credit as well. I believe the tax credit now is about 30% of your budget. It goes in some towns as high as 40-45%. So if you're a filmmaker, think about it. If your movie costs you $10 million to make, you can get a $4 million credit back from the state of Louisiana to help you make your movie. Okay, so it's a very unique industry, the movie business, in that these type of things, and there's no payback, it's not a loan. It's strictly a credit that they give you to stimulate their economy and things like that. How many of you know that Brooklyn College has a new film school? Okay, well they do. A few of you know that Barry Fierstein donated several $1 million, I believe it's $15 million, to start a film school down at the Steiner Studios. And I've been asked to come down to both talk and get more involved with the school. And one of my ideas that I had many years ago was with NYU. And what that idea was, is I was going to take NYU's famed Tisch Film School. How many of you ever heard of Tisch? Tisch Film, right? Pretty big organization, Spike Lee, many major people graduated from the Tisch program. So when I was in the Sundance Film Festival in 2006 for my movie, The Illusionist, I got a chance to meet the dean of Tisch. And over a few drinks, we got thinking, how can we make money utilizing the staff of Tisch, the studios at Tisch, using the former alumni of Tisch, using the insurance they already pay, their studios, NYU, and start a little film business. Just me and the school. So I came up with this idea for Farm Team Films, it was called. And we were going to work very closely with their film department and try to do low budget horror movies. Okay, shoot something. We even had some scripts down there. We had a script about a serial killer in Coney Island that was killing people on the Wonder Wheel and burying them on the beach in big boxes. I mean, it was really very interesting things that were going on. And after about a year of negotiating with the school, they came back and they said that they decided to decline because it was that the Tisch School is a non-profit and they can't be a producer of a movie that actually makes money. I'm not sure if Brooklyn College is going to be that self-conscious about it. I think they'd want to have their students appear in horror movies and make it at the new Fierstein School down at Steiner Studios. How many of you like that idea about partnering up with the school doing movies? How many of you actually like to do it? To get involved in making horror movies and you know, again, the cost of doing these things and then actually distributing them on Netflix and Amazon, there's more places now to distribute than ever before. And if we can create this content cheaper than anybody else, because we're using students, we're using the insurance of the school, I mean, we have very little outlay. We're even using the writers and the scripts of the people. And the trick is to pay everybody on the back end. Because if I had to pay everybody here on the back end, Sissy Spacek, Heather Graham, Bridget Moynihan, Tom Cavanaugh, Alan Cummings, all big stars, okay? They worked for scale, minimal fee. And if the movie was successful, they'd make money in the back end, okay? They'd get a percentage of the gross if the movie was successful. So a lot of that things can be done today, you know, especially in a horror genre where you don't need to have a big name. A story revolving around Coney Island and Nathan's and maybe the police officer, the detective who's the serial killer. I mean, all of these things, you know, are all very, very doable, all very, very possible. So I'll keep you abreast of the conversations that I'm having with Brooklyn College about going ahead and doing that again. All right, so next week you'll see Sue Kramer. If you have a chance to look up anything about the movie that you want to ask her about, feel free to do so. All right, we'll see you all next week. Thank you.